Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome to the show. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show. I'm Jose Cruz, and we're on WS Radio. Our guest today is it's a mom and her son, Denise O'Neal, who is, we'll talk about, because I struggle because it's like, is a literacy student, was a literacy student. She can decide that. And so Denise O'Neal is here with her son, Brendan, and welcome both of you to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So glad to have you. These kinds of shows are important to us because we do have we do say a lot about just the ways to run literacy program, how to teach reading and stuff. But we're doing this for a reason. So it's people like you, Denise, and family members who are affected, and just whole histories and things that we can learn. But what brings us to our work are people like you. Tell us a little bit about your story, Denise, especially maybe if you want to start off with elementary school.
Okay. So kind of, I want to back up for a second.
Sure.
So I still kind of consider myself a learner. I learn every day. So I think that's, once you're a learner, I think you're always a learner. You don't ever stop learning. But it's something that, you hopefully, once you've been, the attention, I guess, has been brought to you, you always seem to be on that alert.
Very good.
And so I do consider myself a learner. So back in elementary school, I was tutored. I don't really, back when I went in school and I was, that was in the 70s and late 70s, mid 70s, I didn't really know that I had an issue. I had a tutor. My mom, she worked a lot. And so I had a tutor, and she helped me mostly with reading and comprehension.
And what grade were you in?
I must have been, I want to say maybe fourth grade, third grade, fourth grade. And a lot of the teachers were, making comment when they would have teacher conferences with the parents. They would make comment like, "Oh, she's struggling in this," or "She's, not doing so well in here, but she's doing good in this part." And they didn't really put two and two together. So they had me do, extra credit or meet with another teacher that was there after school when school was out, because my mom didn't come get me until after she was done with work, which is later. And then I would have a tutor at home as well. So it was a lot of tutoring. It was a lot of, it just seemed like a lot of focus on what I was trying to comprehend, I guess. And the one thing that I remember that I did when I was being tutored is she taught me how to spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I used to know how to spell that word, and I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. But that's just all from memory. I don't remember how to spell it anymore. And then we moved to San Diego when I was 11 and went to Twin Peaks Middle School. Same thing. Nobody really noticed, just had low scores in, certain areas in testing. And so they just, put me in those kind of lower classes. I wasn't in these super high-end, classes of reading and comprehension and math. And across the board, it was pretty, low. And then a lot of the classes and teachers would just kind of push me through. So I got, passing grade, which was a C, sometimes D's, even passing sometimes, depending on the course. And so I just kept getting passed through, pushed through. And then same with high school, was doing okay work and was getting passed through and getting, good enough to where I was just able to have enough credits to graduate from high school. And the only thing that held me up was at the time they had state proficiencies, and I had to pass the state proficiencies in order to get my diploma. And I didn't. I had enough credits to walk the line, but I didn't get handed my diploma when I walked the line at at my graduation. So in order for me to get my actual diploma, I had to pass the proficiency. So each year I would go back to the Poway Unified School District and try and take my test, and would pass, maybe another little section. And each time I went, I would pass and pass and pass. And finally, 9 years after I graduated, I got my diploma.
See, I did not know this part of your story. So you didn't give up though.
No.
You stayed on that. You wanted that. You wanted that diploma.
I did.
Now, was Twin Peaks a middle school?
Yes.
Okay, and then from Twin Peaks you went to
Poway High.
Poway High School, and that's the Poway Unified School District at the time, and even now one of the best school districts in San Diego County.
Yep.
And how would you say your skills changed or improved? Let's say from when you were getting a tutor at age 9 or 10, and then let's say high school.
I don't think they improved at all between that time. Between when I was in elementary to high school, I don't think they improved. I maybe learned a few tricks along the way, like if I was doing homework, or maybe it was mostly homework, because they wouldn't really let us do open book tests at school.
Right.
So I would use the index a lot, and I would find key words in the question. And then I would look, so I'm not having to read the whole chapter over again, because I've read it and don't remember any of it. So in order for me to have to go through and read it again is very time consuming.
Right.
So I found a little trick to just go in the index and look for the keywords in the question, and that would tell me which page to go to, and then I could find my answer.
So one of the things that you did to collect information to help you function and such and get through, you did talk about, because they did recognize in elementary school that you were struggling with reading.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that conversation in junior high or high school? Did they ever say, she's struggling with reading? Well, let's get her a tutor.
No, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think the conversation ever happened. Unfortunately, I think it was just, she struggles. There was no, like, let's do something extra, or let's get an IEP.
Right.
IEPs have been, from what I've been told, they've been around for years. In the school systems.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And nobody said anything to me or my mother. It was. I still to this day I'm shocked, because my son Brendan goes through the same thing,
right.
And it was brought to my attention. Well, why don't we have him tested for an IEP? I'm like, well, what is that? What do you?
I should know that. I should be an
should
expert at that. Yeah.
So he's kind of lucky in that respect, to where he's going through the same thing that I'm going through, but he's now got those extra resources, and I tell him all the time, like, you are so lucky that you have them,
Right.
because you don't want to go through what I went through. It was hard. Hard.
Yeah, and so we're going to have some questions for Brendan, especially in the second half of the show. But what I want to ask you is, what did you think was going on? Does this feel normal to you? Did you have fun in high school? Were you worried? Was it stressful? Did you think this was kind of normal?
Well, it definitely was stressful. Normal? Yeah, for me, I thought it was normal. Because I didn't talk to my friends, like, I didn't understand this, or, because all my friends were smarter than me. Well, they seemed smarter than me. And if any of us had a class together and we were, like, say, reading a book or something, they're like, did you get to this part about this book? And then I'm like, no, I haven't gotten there yet. And that would be my cover up, like, because I don't like pick up a book to enjoy it.
Right.
If I had to read it, okay, it was kind of forced, but I'm a slow reader, and I don't read very fast. And they're like, whizzing through the book, and they're almost to the end, and I'm like I'm barely a quarter of the way through, and they're all the way almost at the end.
So I haven't heard you say I had dyslexia or anything like that. Was that ever said to you? Or what did you think was happening? Why you weren't getting it?
I had heard a dyslexia, but I didn't think that I had it, or I didn't understand that I had it. And I thought, when you think of dyslexia, it's like, you're, turning the words around, or adding words, taking words away. Didn't quite understand what it meant, and I thought, I don't have that. That's
Okay.
I can read. I'm a slow reader,
Okay.
but I can read.
Okay.
But I never put that. I've never put two and two together with that. So I didn't really know. And just recently, I found out that I have it.
Okay, so that was part of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
because sometimes we think, well, maybe a person is able to say what's going on with them, but why would you, especially as a child? It was like, how am I different?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, and dyslexia is for adults, not for kids.
Right.
That was kind of my thing.
Right.
Like, I didn't understand it.
I know we have about a minute before we go to break, but I did want to ask you just how you felt. Let's come to that because it's a long answer, I think. But really, when you felt that things were changing for you, what was the one sign that, hey, I'm getting this. I wasn't getting it before. I've made progress, and I know probably reading is still hard for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and so let's talk about that. But also, very important. I think our listeners would want to know. How is this? How is this affecting your family? Just raising Brendan for one, and two, the experiences he's having in school right now. Because there is research showing that this does get passed on through families and such. So, now here we have this, and the good thing, yes, you have the experience, and he has more services, and we have some of the vocabulary and such, so we know how the process works a little bit better.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back with Denise O'Neal and Brendan O'Neal, and this is the Literacy for All radio show. I'm Jose Cruz, and you're listening to WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple, and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com, on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
Looking to be a successful entrepreneur? The virtual assistant industry continues to be a top choice for those looking to start their own business. The problem can be how to become a virtual assistant. Many turn to the Bible of the VA industry, the book, Virtual Assistant, the series, and it's the perfect guide for office managers, executive assistants, and other administrative professionals looking to make the transition from employee to successful business owner. Go to vatheseries.com to get your copy today.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Homeless veterans and their families are suffering and need our support, but many won't ask or don't know that help is within reach. Veterans Community Services is here to help. Amazingly, about 35% of the homeless in our neighborhoods are veterans with families. Low-income veterans or their friends are encouraged to contact Veterans Community Services and reach out for help with housing and other services. Call now, 800-974-9909.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. Our guests are Denise O'Neal and her son, Brendan. And I thought I was the only one who had fun with the music intro, so Brendan's always showing me some moves. It does help get us geeked up for the segment. Denise, just a quick question, and I want to talk to Brendan about more about what's happening to him. Okay. Well, how did you feel, or when did you feel like things were turning around for you?
Not until I think I got help. When Brendan was about 3 years old, I went to the local library and got some help, and that was in about 2006. Mm-hmm. And that's when I feel like things, they weren't quite better, but they were getting better. And they are getting better, every day almost. I try to improve myself in some way every day, no matter what it is. And I think that kind of just has given me the strength to kind of move forward and not feel like, I'm just some dummy. I can't, read this, or I don't understand this, or, now I'm not afraid to ask, like, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Before you kind of get shy and you don't want to ask, what does this mean? Or I'm not sure. I don't understand this. And now I'm to the point where I don't care. I just ask, like, I don't understand this. What does this mean? Tell me, you know?
Well, you made the point right at the start of the first segment about lifelong learning, and I know better, so absolutely.
Yeah.
That regardless of, I'm a learner too, right? Yeah. We all are, so that's a great attitude to have. Yeah. Well, Brendan, so glad to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Now, you're in school right now. What's going on with you? How are you feeling about... how do you feel about your... no, how old are you? I have to ask.
I'm 16 and enrolled in Mission Hills High School.
Mission Hills High. And are you enjoying high school?
I am.
All right, very good.
It's a struggle, but it's still fun.
Now, you said you felt like you were drowning in work.
Yeah. The system is challenging from time to time. Finding a way to cope with the struggles, and even though you have an IEP and stuff to help you along the way, it just sometimes it's just not enough.
So when you get the work that you get, because I'm familiar with this thing where we just throw homework at kids.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I'm not sure how that helps. I mean, if you're okay, you have the skills and such, then you have a lot of repetitions, but you're still catching up on the skill level.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The way they make the system is they make it for one person, and that's for the normal teen who's just going through high school. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't comprehend for advanced learners or struggling learners. Mm-hmm. Advanced learners, they just breeze right through it. Mm-hmm. But they have honor classes, which is what they need. Mm-hmm. But for struggling learners, it's not so much.
So if you were to say, well, who gets the most attention, the advanced students or the students who are struggling, who gets the most attention as far as you can tell?
I feel like the advanced students definitely get more attention. Because there's IEP classes, there's classes you can go to, but I feel like there should be more that helps them along the way.
So what's happening in IEP classes? Is that also special education?
Yeah, okay. yeah. It's a RSP, they call it.
Yeah,
and then this stands for something, but it allows the students to catch up on homework or ask. There's a teacher there, and the teacher pretty much is versed in all courses, math, reading, whatever it is that they need help with, and they go in and they're allowed to get extra help from the teachers, and that teacher in the class, they're kind of like a safe person, and they don't have to feel embarrassed, go to that teacher and say, I need help. What does this mean?
Very good.
So that those classes are great. They're not the special ed classes that everybody thinks they are for, the handicapped kids or anything like that. There's just an extra class that's in their schedule that they go to, and they get extra help and they get credit for it.
Were you getting that in elementary school?
No, I wasn't. I had to redo second grade again because, unfortunately, at the time, my parents didn't know that I was struggling with reading, and I just wasn't understanding it in words. They would just breeze right over me, and it was just bad. So I did second grade all over again, and it's made me who I am, I guess.
All right. Well, do you feel like things are getting better? Are you feeling better about reading? Are you reading books or anything like that?
Yeah, I am reading books.
Okay.
Like my mom said, I don't pick them up to enjoy them. I will read them if I have to. Yeah.
Sounds very similar. I mean, right?
Very similar, yeah.
To what was going on.
And I find it interesting that it's hereditary. I find that so interesting that it's, I didn't wish it. I wouldn't have wished it upon anybody. This is
so bad.
It's hard, right?
It's really hard
really,
just to get
really
through day-to-day life.
Yeah.
You switch numbers around. You see numbers that aren't there. You see letters that aren't there. You see words that aren't there. I know I do that myself. I'll put words that aren't there to make sense in my head, I guess. It's
so the sentence as you're reading it doesn't quite make sense. So you'll add a word in there to make it make sense to you,
right?
Not to the writer that's written.
And the funny thing about that is that's called reading by context, and it's an advanced skill.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it says that at least up to a point you're comprehending what you're reading. So if you're filling in the blanks, hopefully accurately, and making up words, it's showing at least that there's certain in the context of that sentence, for example, there's some comprehension, and that you're able to put something in there. It might be absolutely wrong, but at least there's a degree of comprehension that has to take place. So just know that again, Denise, going back to you collecting information, using the index, etc., talking to people, asking questions. I mean, that's all creating comprehension, pulling information together so that you can get through the next thing.
Right.
So, Brendan, what do you want to do when you get out of school?
I want to go to college and then eventually either go into the military or go into the police force.
Very good. So you guys, you're not letting it discourage you. I mean, Denise, you had the goal of going into human resources.
I did, yeah. I actually in 2009 I earned my certificate in human resources, and now I'm currently back in college, going to Maricosta to get my business administration certificate. So I just got my grade from my class that I took. I got a B+.
Very good. Now tell me what degrees you have. I want people to hear this.
I only have just the certificate in human resources.
Okay.
I didn't go to college because I was so intimidated by.
You weren't at CSU San Marcos?
I went to when that's where I got my certificate from was Cal State San Marcos.
Very good. Yeah.
But I didn't go get my degree in anything.
A degree? No, all right. But you got the degree that you wanted.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Very good. Very good. And you did work in human resources. Right?
I did for 10.5 years. Yeah, and I loved it. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. And then you want to go into the police force.
Yeah, I do. And I have the same situation as my mom is I'm intimidated by college and with all the work and all the reading, and it's set up for advanced students and advanced learners and all that other stuff because you have to be ahead of the curve in college. So I'm kind of worried about that.
So Denise, tell me, I have to ask you this. What do you see the aptitude, the things in Brendan that would tell you he's going to be a good police officer one day?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think he's going to be really good. He wants to work with the canines. He's got a dog at home and just they love each other so much. It's cool. But the dynamic that he has with her is cool. He'll whistle and she knows that it's time to come to him.
Right.
And she does. It's really cool. So yeah, I think. getting he really enjoys criminal justice in school, and they have classes that he's taking, and
very good.
Enjoys that a lot. So yeah, I think he's going to be good at it.
Excellent. Well, it does require reading and writing, and I just want to, I actually visited with the folks at the local police academy, and they were having issues with the writing that police officers had to do. It's so important, and not everybody has great writing skills.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the things, continue to work on, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that they take in consideration because some people don't have those great writing skills? Do they consider that and not judge them on something that, they don't have really control over, or maybe they don't know they have some kind of writing issue?
I'm just going to guess, because I don't know the answer to that question, that, if you have somebody who's gone through the system, they've gone to school, they study, they got the degree, certificate, whatever, they would be smart, to put them in a place where they're going to succeed and where everybody benefits. Yeah. So, but just continue to work hard on that because, it does get easier. Yeah. Man, it's so good to have you. We did talk about doing a 1-hour show with you. So we're just going to have you back. Yeah. Because this is a great story. Your story, Denise, and Brendan's.
I have a lot more to tell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we both do.
Yeah. And it's quite a journey and such. And it's like you're not discouraged by it. So,
no, not at all.
So proud of you. Your testimonial is golden. And so the folks here will learn more from it. I've been doing this work since 1985, so count the years, 34 years. Wow. And these stories they're the things that keep me going. Yeah. So, keep doing what you're doing. Keep learning every day like you're doing and inspiring us. We're out of time. And so thank you, Denise and Brendan, for being on the show.
Thank you.
You've all been listening to the Literacy for All radio show. I'm Jose Cruz, and we're on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com. Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.